Yo, what's up? Welcome to Madhouse Pro. I'm in the building. If you don't like it, you can get out because it's my building. Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The time in my time, 8:40. 8:40. About to get into it real quick. Just how simple can I create this in a minimum amount of time? Maybe, maybe not. But we're not gonna worry about it. We just go get into it. All right. For those who watched the last video, we was talking loops. Y'all know I don't edit, but it is what it is. Look at it. All right. Here we go. Let's play the vocal. You guys couldn't hear that because I messed up, right? Let me change my master output to you guys. And then let me pull that down just a little bit. All right. Yo, what up? What up? Welcome to it, y'all. Now that this Apollo Twin via Thunderbolt is working in the Windows format, what do you think? All right, that's the vocal, right? So, the thing that I'm really trying to focus is you could use that as a loop. We're not gonna get into that, but we're gonna go over loops that you may purchase or create yourself. And some people they make loops and they sell them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a business, right? Anyway, so some of these loops I purchased, some are created by me. I'm gonna show you how I can create a loop and sell it, right? We're gonna compare, like I like to compare sometimes because some of this stuff, the reason why you have a lot of DIYers, Curtis King, good dude. DIYers, some people really feel like nowadays with the same tools, I could do what they're doing. I'm gonna say that one more time. A lot of people say the same things like, oh, I could do what they doing. I could do it myself. So you have a lot of people who get a computer and do it themselves. There's nothing wrong with that. Quit hating on people who do it themselves. I think I'm one of them guys that do it themselves. Anyway, so right here, this says loop, right? You see these, they say empty bars for loops. I wonder who really be watching my videos, but we ain't gonna get into that. I'm gonna pull this loop back right here. I'm gonna solo it. Nope, not mute it, I said solo it. And I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna turn off my vocal, right? That was for the video for you guys who watch. Now let's look at this loop. Let's play Inspector, right? Now that's their loop, right? Also, which is this one of their loops or not? We're gonna go right here. We gonna pull this one over here. Okay, we listened to 2 loops so far, right? Let's go to a third loop. It's not done. But it say empty bars. Let's go with the bass. Let's do this bass right here. Bass drum. All right. Now, I'm going to create a loop, right? So let's get off of there. Well, I already did create the loop. Hence, you can see, let me pull this down. So here's the difference. There's no plugin on here, so this is a WAV file format loop. This one says battery 4. Let's click it and be a little bit more precise. Really, Troy? Anyway, look at it. Everybody who has the native instruments like, yeah, I use battery. That's me. Yeah, we got it. Everybody use battery. But the way that we use battery is different. Everybody use battery different. Some could come and do the same thing. Oh, I could do that. You remember to do it yourself, right? So let's listen to this kick drum, the pattern. And then if we didn't like the For Life kick, we could go down. The beauty of MIDI, right? But we're going to go back with this one. All right, so here's the step. Um, Pro Tools does this as well. If I click this object, right, when I right click it, there's an object to freeze. I mean, there's an option to freeze. Once I click freeze, right, let me pull this over. This go give you a reading of what happens when you freeze the object. It turns it into a wave format, plain and simple, right? So now I sometimes compare my wave files to theirs. You know, they mix and master theirs. Me, I just created it. I didn't mix and master it yet. So the form of this wave file would take shape to once I add on VSTs and the plugins to do the things that the VST plugins to do what I need to shape it right, like a compressor and all that other stuff. It'll reshape all my frozen MIDI track or my wave file, right? So the thing is, you can create this stuff and send them out. But the thing is, like, when you mix stuff together, that's just mixing, you know what I'm saying? That's a part of the music production. People kind of miss that, or do they? People who do it, they do what they do, right? But some people could do it themselves. So when I come in here today, and I want y'all to see something where my mouse hovers right down here where it say loop. That's for a reason. That's like music. When you listen to music and you break it down and you really listen, you'll be like, oh, 4 bars, they played that. Oh, they played it again. Oh, on that third section of the bar, they did something different. Then they went back to that first bar. It's just loops. That's music. When some people sample, when you listen to some of the music that we listen to, especially in hip hop, but pretty much in anything, hip hop, R&B, soul, if you listen to one section or one instrument and you would listen, like they hit that note twice and then on the third one they went to a different note. Oh, then they repeated it. When they repeated it, that's the loop. And sometimes they change it to give you a different feel or emotion within that song, but that's looping. That's how some people understand music. So we purchase loops. Some people do. Some got. I got a huge library. Right back there, I got a huge library. And just in general though, you could buy them. Somatics, that's a great company. I listen to their stuff and I'd be like, wow, they polish it up good and they create loops and they sell it to you, or sometimes they even give it away and they like use these loops. So loops is a part of music production. That's it. So if I sit down here, Magix MAGIX was the first company that introduced me to loops, 2003. Yeah, I was like on 20 something, new to everything, but I knew how to use a computer, DIY. So I was like, hey, this is dope. I just drop, drop, drop. That's the beat. And people listen to it. They never seen me do the production. I wasn't back with a webcam or a camera back in the day showing this is how I made it. They would listen to it. They'd be like, hey, that's dope. And then one of the guys, I was in the military. We went through it back and forth. And he had FL Studio. He showed me how he made his. I had Magix. I showed him how I made mine. And he said at one point, you're going to switch over to FL Studio. And I did. You know, the more you know about different platforms. And then he said from there, you might go to Pro Tools. I did exactly all those things. So, but loops is the very basics. Even in music production school, sound recording. That's the first thing they taught us. Here, create a loop. Or take one of your favorite songs, create a loop. And that's what we did. So, but loops are a part of music production. It is what it is. I was just showing you guys how I sit down sometimes and I analyze how to create a loop, how to use it in music production, how to benefit from it. Should I sell them? I would have to sell my own loops. That's another thing too, y'all. Some people, they may mix another loop with theirs and sell it, and ooh wee. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, it could get real messy because when you read your license on purchasing these loops, they tell you certain things you can and can't do. And you can't grab somebody else's work, put it with yours, and just lay some drums over and say, here's a loop that I produced. Don't do that. That's stealing. Create their own one, because I always look at transparency. Y'all get to see how I do my music production. I come right here. If they was to come back and say, hey, Troy, you sold a loop pack, and guess what? You stole somebody's stuff. And I'm going to say, oh, guess what? I didn't. And then I would be able to open up this. We'll just say if we had to go to court, who would really go through all that, right? You never know. I would have to open up my DAW and say, here, this is how I created it. This is what I did. Just like I showed you guys, they'll probably go back. I'd be like, go watch the video. I'm like, that's how I created my loops. So it could be beneficial to some people. You know, the music game could get real, real messy. But hey, I'm not gonna hold you guys. This was just a thing on creating loops, checking other people's loops, how to create more loops, and how you could possibly sell it, right? That made no sense, but guess what? This is Mr. Madhouse Pro. Peace. Y'all be safe. Be blessed.